July 6, 2022 it is. Uh, I did the video here on July 4th, 2022 about Princess Diana's death. It really was published only on this website. I did not even want to post one on a YouTube. Really, because of the reasons you're about to hear. This Princess Diana's death deeply affected me, but not in a way that it should. I am gonna post one to YouTube. I will do it, but I decided I am gonna record the part number 2 and explain exactly why I feel that her death have affected me in a negative sense. First of all, not because it would be her fault or anything like this. The bodyguard I have spoken about in a video, greatest love she ever had, I have no idea if this ever was the case. I have absolutely no clue. I've not seen between him and her other than professional relationship. That's all I can recall from MK Ultra. The fact, however, is that this man already was her bodyguard. And when I came in 1995, he did not appeal to me. He did not appeal to me because he gained a lot of weight. So, guess what? I wasn't really impressed. It didn't concern me. But it did trouble somebody else as well. It troubled others. It troubled Charles because Charles wanted to have I don't know, just a fitter guard, maybe. He was asking me about what I think about this one, what I think about that one, about people. All the time he was asking me about that. And when I learned that this was a bodyguard, I just told him this guy is got way too many extra pounds. This is not in a shape he should be, and it was just gaining pounds, really more and more and more. None of my business really. Um, Charles used me best of his abilities to get done whatever otherwise he could not, or make argument through me. And so it just happened so that there was a disagreement, also in respect to this bodyguard, for whom I was told actually that he was that he had some kind of a university degree, that he was the one who did have university degree, and he was very familiarized with the law, even that had something work with the police and stuff like this. Maybe even a previous police officer, I have no idea. It really didn't bother me otherwise. I mean, I didn't care. I got along with him. Uh, but I was asked what exactly the situation is, what exactly the issue is, what how I see this under MK Ultra, trafficked from United States of America to Great Britain to participate MK Ultra, my own MK Ultra rituals, drugged up, trafficked, drugged up, and done with it whichever way these people want it, with the permission of United States of America government. Well, permission was the U.S. government who did so. I have no clue. Maybe American government believed that this is actually going to be right for me. Or whatever the issue might be, it really didn't benefit me in any way. It really ruined my life. So this guy had university degree, 4 year additional to high school at least. Trained also as a police officer. Trained to act, think like a police officer, the least. They did have him in the police for a little time. He was in the police, maybe he even served as a police officer. I don't know what Charles was talking to me. It was on a course with the police, or did he actually work like shortly, like for 2 years for the police? I don't know what the issue was with that. When it comes to a driver, this, I don't have anything else I would add to all that stuff. Tremendous stupidity evolved, which concerning the driver, I am going to explain in continuation. But what I want to be really, really technical as much as possible. I want to explain you that whichever way, it's going to be the same. Doesn't matter. The contracts was signed inside of this building. This is called Reading County Court. This here. This here. So this is outside of the London. This was like everything was done inside in here. Okay, you understand? This was the building. This was the building. This basically was everything was done. Charles also played with some real estate in the area. Whenever he would come around, really owned these cities through the mayors. He got it done really through his politicians, local, regional, and parliamentarians, whichever way he wanted. This was the building here, Reading County Court. This is basically where we go. Why is this Reading County Court? All right. Now let me see this here. Okay, Queen doesn't own a license and does not need one to drive. Okay. That is right. Driving without license. No, this is not the purpose of this video. I'm not trying to ridicule Queen. I'm just trying to, is it gonna be, you know what, forget about this stuff here. Town hall, let's see, go to reading. This is also, if I stop for a second. I stopped for a second because I had like idea that something is going in the head, like it twisted inside my brain right now. That's why I stopped. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. They talked about directed energy weapons. I posted some interesting stuff today, and it really doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter to me, but it was so intense, it was so powerful. Eventually, as if something would go like up, down, something like this. Never had a feeling like this. Let's continue with this. It's alright. I posted this here today. I don't like recording videos like this, but you know what? I'm not gonna shy away from it. Here, I have posted this stuff here. This is basically what I posted, and I have also explained that since 1998 I've asked, demanded from people, requested repeatedly from participants, from Slovenian armed forces, from the police, to have the city, it's known as Murgle, municipality in Ljubljana, literally sealed with a barbed wire because they tortured me inside in there. Milan Kučan was bringing me to the city municipality Murgle, tortured me in there. Just a few years earlier, I had served in Slovenian military as second generation of drafted guys, extremely proud to serve. And here, upon my departure since 1995, brought to Slovenia for nothing more than to be tortured. Asked them to seal this place with a barbed wire and judge these people in the name of the people, in the name of the republic, in the name of the state, I should say. Insisted, and will continue to insist on a public trial and finally death penalty against mentioned people. It never changed and it never will change. And this here, what happened right now to me, also it's gonna stay here. We're gonna go like this. It used to be time when I would shy away from it. I have no idea, maybe somebody's in the house, maybe they're doing it from the neighbor house. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe they can do it remotely. Maybe the weapon is integrated, maybe it's positioned somewhere. They click, maybe they can do it this way. But something like this, I've not experienced yet. So this is the stuff is gonna stay. It was posted just an hour maybe earlier. That's all there is to it. Fine. Let's go back. It's the other political side that love to abuse my views and have contributed consequently to the crime that I also condemn. Talking about the Peterle, Janša, Bavčar, Rupel, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it goes to both sides, except that this is not the side that lobbied for Serbia, for the Russia. This is not the side I'm actually inquiring the justice as written right here. The justice I have inquired is for the people, also for other people, ex-Yugoslav Communist Party people. Actually, Yugoslavia was a greater Serbian Chetnik state, to put it the proper way. There was no communism. It was really close to the fascism because it went into extermination clearly against Bosnian people whom they have greatly exterminated, genocided, Croatian people, the same thing, and it's recorded that Serbs wanted initially to come to Slovenia to kill us all, to ethnically cleanse us out. These are three nations, and then you have a fourth nation, which already 10 years prior to separation, fall of this greater Serbian Chetnik state known as Yugoslavia, Serbs have engaged in genocide against. Those are the Kosovo people, Albanian people basically. Serb indifferent from Russian, the same thing. Serb, Russian, the same thing. They always worked on the same principles. So this was just a short intermezzo, if you like, premor, break. Now let's go back, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna repeat to you again this stuff. We were here. This man, this bodyguard was, he's got a degree, university, from what I can recall was told, and he got some courses with the police. I'm not sure whether he did work 2 years for the police department or not, and then it really doesn't matter. But they did put him to the police, train him through the police. Most likely in that case, he does not have any police experience. He was just trained in the police department. It was people that instigated with different scenarios to confuse. But I don't think it's written anywhere in the internet talking about the resume, what his credentials were as a bodyguard of Princess Diana. Second thing important is talking about the town halls. I have demonstrated one in reading exactly where the royals got their stuff done. So they have not done this in a Buckingham Palace anywhere in London. They didn't go to London to do the contracts with the work contracts with their staff, but they eventually would travel to other areas, to other locations where they would have preferably things done. That's because there was a palace out there not too far from Reading, where they would go always on the weekends, no matter what. This was just Windsor Palace. Castle, alright, whatever you want. It was a Windsor castle. And then there was other stuff too. There was other let me see. Let's see what else here. Yeah, there was another palace here that Windsor was one, but very what is it? Cottage maybe. It was a cottage maybe. They like that. They also like that. Okay. Okay, Frogmore Cottage. Frogmore Cottage. Yeah, this was a frequent. This. And I have somehow in a previous video I have mentioned about the white building and this and that, how I made a mistake. I got confused. It was just a bad mistake. The Frogmore Cottage should be right here. City slow. They did not have at that time yet. That's why I know also that this stuff was done in a reading, or maybe they have. But their preferred location, the right location was this one here, Reading. Then I think they started to do this in slow, and then it even came into Windsor. It was something like this. Okay, but initially everything was done in Reading. That's a little step from London itself. If you look at the Reading and you want to pick up directions, if I wasn't there, I wouldn't know any of this stuff. You probably do agree with it. This is a wow. This is actually 68 miles, 2-hour drive. Okay, 70. What you're talking about then? In that case, 7 times 4. About 100 kilometers. That's not bad. Okay, so I'm telling you that all the work contracts for the staff, I have already demonstrated the building. Reading Town Hall. This is where they signed them. This was the place. So This was the place for them in 95, in 96, in 97, in 98, 99. Now here it started to squeeze. This is sometimes when they got something else done closer, and that might have been, I have no idea, because I didn't play with this. You see, it's so many unpleasant memories that don't make me happy, these memories and this stuff. And they don't make me happy because I think the people are extremely dishonest. That's where the problem is with it. Yeah, right. Well, we are still recording. That's great. Now let's see the town halls. That's Windsor. Now let's go closer here. Yeah, they do have. They got something closer. I didn't want to go to this city because it started with abuse in this reading. Very, very bad abuse. The one who initiated abuse were royals, make no mistake about it. Royals' nature, let me explain. In 95 and 96, I would appear up north in this place here. It's called Balmore. It's called Balmore Castle. This is in Scotland. This is completely other part of UK. It's called Balmore Castle. With already with Nicola Sturgeon. She would find her way on a picture. And in area, but at times she would find her way in a Balmore Castle. But otherwise, Glasgow, Edinburgh, basically Scotland, Dundee was biggie. Dundee was like a capital because no matter what, always we would pass next to Dundee or we go to Balmore Castle. So the one in area was Nicola Sturgeon. Nicola Sturgeon. A Scottish referendum about independence. Yeah, there you go. This is it. A beautiful lady. One time I have fallen for, got in love with it. I think actually she's a minister of Scotland. I think I was not the first one. I think maybe Andrew had a soft spot for her too. These people never ever got along with one another. According to the mainstream media, and from what royals demanded from me to view their relationship as. But it came to me clear that since it was expected from her to bring me always back, prior to departure back to South England, to this called Balmoral Castle. This is where she would deliver me with her people. I figure out that it can be just that that there is no agreement between the two. Shitty stuff happened also. Never, however, they would make sure that they never would be seen together or anything like this. In fact, sometimes in 99, might have been even 2000, but not later than that, when brought by Nicola back to this place, too much crime already happened in Britain for me to count. I already prior to this, in 97 and 98, it was a Princess Anne that asked me about uh, how I got here. How I got here. And I always answer her, it was the girl that brought me with her fellows, this Nicola Sturgeon. As usual, I told her, as usual, you know, I got tired of answering the question, stupid question over and over again when they always used her. Even that she was not in the picture, but I felt the presence, their presence on the side when she delivered me and so on at times. And I asked her, I said, well, why are you asking me? It's always like the same thing. See, guys, no. Because it was like, but she not, Nicola not supposed to be inside in here. She not supposed to be inside in here. How do you got here, this and that? So I don't know. Maybe from the psychological point of view, definitely that it did help me out for me to understand basically the circumstances, my surroundings. Maybe even degree of manipulation to what I think the case was. Because the royals, I think they wanted me to commit a harakiri, is what Japanese call this, a suicide basically, stab myself to death. They wanted me to turn, for me to turn against them, for me to turn against these politicians. They wanted me, for me to turn against the whole world, basically. They wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff if that's not exactly what they would want from me. They had this kind of expectations from beginning to the end, make no mistake. They came to Slovenia numerous times and they cover up here for Milorad Dodik, for Aleksandar Vučić, for the Serbian Chetniks, for this people here, for this garbage here, for this here. They cover up for them all the time. What do you think it is every time when I mention royals on a picture with this garbage here? What do you think that happens? It's their immunity. It's a collateral murder. It's a shared responsibility. Now, go ahead after royals and let's see how that goes. If I repeat the words of Angela Merkel, there's no fucking way once you mention them, you're ever gonna make it through. To be completely, for you to understand exactly how this operates, this MK Ultra, what kind of stuff this is. Now I want to go back to this case here. The same thing went on in town of Reading. I don't think it was any difference between what went on in Scotland, and that's why you can see when you connect these different locations, different events, but with always the same way. With this London area, always is the same thing. They would organize crime against me to the degree that I wouldn't want to go to Reading anymore. Then they were assuring me sometimes in 2000 that they got it closer. You know, it was Andrew, they can get it closer. I didn't want to go there anymore, but they knew that I didn't want to go to Reading anymore due to the degree of violence performed on me. I was so stupidly nice that I didn't want to say, listen, you're no fucking good. You're up to no fucking good. You incite people in violence against me. I refused because of my stupidity, known as politeness, being nice. Now let's see how this politeness, being nice, grew through psychological abuse, which these British royals prided themselves on. They're experts at psychological abuse. They're experts at abusing, destroying, decaying person mentally, ruining person completely mentally, turning person into a complete wreck. Let's see how this kind of stuff was performed. And so for that matter, I'm going to go back to this video here about Princess Diana called her bodyguard Barry Meneke the greatest love she ever had. Really has nothing to do with my video which I have posted here about Princess Diana's death. If you have not seen that video, you should see that one first, then you should see this video so that you understand what this is all about. I will also upload one on a YouTube. I just felt that they didn't deserve this video. They didn't deserve this video. That's what I felt. Upon Princess Diana's death, I probably am gonna just use this here. It's gonna be much faster for me. Upon Princess Diana's death, we're gonna turn this off. It was established that if they would have listened to me, Princess Diana would have been alive. Well, I cannot guarantee that she would be alive today. She sure would live on. She would have not been killed in an accident if it was for decision I have made under MK Ultra when drugged up. That's a bottom line, that's a fact. That's a fact. To fortify this relationship between me and between the employees, to turn maybe me against the employees, and to give energy to royal employees against me. Crime-wise, Charles would have employees lined up, and so that he would give me as much as possible mental authority on others present, including Diana, on what he would want me to go and rate each employee, this, what, according to what I think, and this and that, something I didn't want to have nothing to do with it, but he insisted with Andrew, and they insisted. It was rather like a procedure you see presidents inspecting guard or something like this. I didn't want to have absolutely nothing to do with drugged up with the stuff like this. But it really zipped in my eye, the bodyguard. And that's what Charles hoped I will concentrate on. And it was the driver. It was the issue about the driver, which I think Charles wanted to get rid of. And I didn't want to see that driver anywhere in the picture, because this was not a bodyguard. That had something to do with the smoke. That there were arguments between Princess Diana and Charles about smoking. He disapproved heavily smoking. This driver did smoke on the side. And at times, I understand he replaced previous driver, which he went into a retirement. And so I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea that, as I explained in a previous video, for the guy like this to service Diana, to be in charge of her safety. And so I did state it also in front of driver, whom then he hated me for saying something like this. He fucking hated me, that he shouldn't be on a picture because of this, and this. And it's even Princess Diana that turned against me for not giving him a break. Basically, this is how she saw it. So I gotta realize that she just needed this person for other reasons other than a personal chauffeur, basically services. Okay, Princess Diana was sure that she got a number of other people taking care of her well-being, and she's gonna be just okay for several more years. This is what she stated. It's gonna be okay. This I can recall clearly, that she was on the side, she was trying to convince me this is best for her and this and that, but I didn't see it that way. The driver was trouble. He had psychological problems, And it's something I was warned because this guy was a French guy or something like this by the French government to not even dare to ever say anything like this. Well, I don't give a shit. It's got nothing to do with the France. This got nothing to do with the France. This is stupidity. What this got to do with the France? He could have been from whatever he could be. I don't care what he would be. I will tell you just the way I feel. This is where my story ends. I'm not gonna say anything else in respect to what I stated. Everything is explained in video part 1. That's all there is to it. Referring right back to that video, as I stated, if you have C1, it makes no sense to see this video. This lining me up, actually lining up next to me, this staff people, especially because of Princess Diana's death, became even more serious ritual. They became totally obsessed with the idea that if they would have listened to me, Princess Diana would still be alive. I was friendly tapped for that matter by royals and also by Americans. But it wasn't 2 years after Princess Diana's death, that American psychologist Daniel Rex Smith started to insist British royals that they have to start to treat me differently. Actually, he gestured to American politicians to advise them to either start to treat me differently or stop with this display of staff for like a welcome. Yeah, every time they would get me over there, that's what they would do. And there was all kinds of other stuff that happened. But that was the stuff that was already happening since '95. Regretfully, I have to say. It was in 2000 that, or maybe 2001, I don't know, that it was Prince Andrew, Prince Charles reprimanded there you go, just so that you know where this is coming from. Bon appetit. They were reprimanded literally in front of their staff members by American politicians, just as Daniel Rex Smith, American psychologist involved in it, demanded to be done. It was also American politicians that they couldn't see themselves in this stuff anymore. They started to resent them, and they told them straight in the face, look, it's either you're gonna stop mistreating him and treat him with respect, or you're gonna have to stop with this lining up staff in front of him and making him feel like a family member, and then at the same time, like I said, you're doing stuff like this to him. Now it's up to you. If you're not gonna do one or the other, you're not gonna see him anymore. And they told this publicly. They said, what is it gonna be? Charles repeated this stuff maybe once, twice more, and he was all red when he did this stuff. And he's still there to look at me all red, like a pal, like a friend. So you know that I'm trying to help you in that sense. This is very, very, very deeply, even that he shouldn't have, very, very, very deeply emotionally, mentally exploitative people. They exploited the last millimeter, the last, not inch, but millimeter, everything they possibly could have in a human to, hard to explain. to manipulate you, to keep your guards down, basically, and be open for more and more and more punches that never ceased. Eventually, even brought me inside of the mental hospital, with which they have tremendously, I should say, absolutely everything to do with it. And these people definitely ruined my life. In 2008, from 2008, the abuse from British was on a greatest magnitude against me. 2009, 2010. 2010 was a fucking madness. Prince William came to Chicago even to do some. 2010, he was in a frenzy how he's gonna get me. There were some artists and stuff like this that they did bad stuff to get their money, their projects going. Obviously, they financed them. But my God, what the fuck went on with these people? Nothing good, really. I just want to understand. I just want you to understand this whole background about. Initially, I said I'm not going to even post this on YouTube. I'm just going to do this for Harry, whatever. Which this is just. This is just a kid who used to like me tremendously, and whom I used to like tremendously too. As a kid, he really felt for me. William did too. I'm never gonna forget the occasion when we went to Sevnica, and before the Sevnica, they started to beat me up again on a remote what is now a junkyard. Before you go to Sevnica, you go down, and it was these two kids that went ballistic. This must have been in a year. I don't know. 1997, something like this. Small, tiny, little small kids, but you should have seen how ballistic they went. I'm gonna report to that. I saw what you did. So these kids did not know what went on, basically. They didn't have any clue about what went on. You don't know my dad. Well, my dad is gonna get you. We saw it. It was something that, not only that stuff, it's stuff like this that got into my mind, into my memory deeply. Very confusing case, this case. But the two eventually turned, they started to see basically the same way, you know. As the rest of this older generations have. And they went far beyond anything you possibly can imagine. So I don't know how much I was of help to you with this stuff, about this information. I know it benefits me in a way. I really don't want I dislike very much memories of Britain. I It was good, it was bad memories, but then in the end you have to add up all together and see where the life brought you, and really from what I have gone through, where I'm heading to, maybe the best would be, as Prince Charles stated, uh, he didn't know how much more. I'm not gonna. It's a shit to say. Okay, what is to Charles if he fucks you up 30 years of life, or 10, or 5, or 1? Really, there is no difference, because that's why I said these people mentally ill. They don't comprehend, they don't understand. For them, it's just no difference what you perform to a human being. I think it's like, I think it's like a mute deaf. I don't know. I wanted to use hardened like a stone or something like this, but hardened like a stone is sign of intelligence too. This is just mentally ill. He said, whatever he is, he's gonna lose. He lose, and what? This shit was in 2015. That's not much. That was 20 years. I lost already back then. And as he stated, whatever he's gonna lose afterwards, well, you know, that's due to cancer and stuff like this, to reduce life. That's gonna have the stuff that they did to you impact on your length of life and so on. This is just a fucking waste of time that is so hostile. Americans are here to this in a humoristic way, even animal cruelty. Okay, so be it. If I'm an animal, whatever, that they could charge them with, whatever, fine, be so. But yeah, animals don't do the stuff like this to animals. if this is what defines human when it comes to the British Royals, I don't have anything else I would supplement this video with. Just too many unpleasant memories for me to. And it, like I stated, you know, Nicola Sturgeon stayed at me in Scotland. She said to me, and she started to ask me, like from 2008, if I don't think that she can fuck me. She was a long time a local politician there, you know. And then I could go on and, you know, but this shit is all written. There is nothing to say, and I'm not going to go and read about this stuff. Said, if I don't think that she can fuck my life, you know, that she can fuck my life, basically, what, trying to make me think what, that she is the one, that she was the one, yeah, because these politicians, they take responsibility for it. You know, they throw themselves under the wheels for them the way they want. They create them and they make them, you know, in whichever way they want, regulate them, steer them, and so on and so forth. So sorry time, I got other stuff to do more productive than this, but there is some proofs about MK Ultra in there, and I give you my account to those that matters. Not that really would matter to me. That's all. The date and time today is, as you see, July the 6th, 2022, and as I stated, for you to understand what exactly I was talking about, it's a must to see part 1 about Princess Diana's death. 1 of 1. This video, it will be titled as 2 of 2 about Princess Diana's death. Also, it's more, but it's well explained. It's totally explained in the details. It's probably people wondered, how the hell did you tolerate this stuff? How the hell did you lasted so long around these people? Well, you know, I explained very well that this was one of the worst, and the longer it gets, the more you lose the track of yourself, because this is how abuse is commenced. Abuse is always commenced with, I love you, I like you, I this, I that, you, this and that, and tra tra tra. And then it's go gradually, systematically into exactly what you have seen in my case. Yeah, that is what defines these people in my eyes. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time. So special.